So in this first video, we're going to look at some common procedures that we want to do with a data file. These are things that we're going to do on a pretty routine basis. And I've put this data set on Blackboard, and we're going to use this actually a fair amount throughout the class. It's probably one of the most famous data sets in all of statistics. This was a data set collected back in 1885 by Sir Francis Galton. And what he wanted to do was look at the relationship between the height of a parent and the height of their adult child. So, for example, here's the data on family 1. This is the height of the father, the mother, the gender of each child, and their corresponding height and the number of children in that family. Now, what are some of the things that you might want to do with a data set like this? Well, one of the things you might want to do is you might want to select everything in a column. Why? Well, for one thing, we might want to format the column so the numbers are in the center. So, for example, I can select any column by clicking on the letter corresponding to it. If I want to select more than one, I simply hold down the control button now and just choose as many as I want. And now I can cause the data values to be centered. Okay? One of the other things I might want to do with a column is I might want to delete a column. So, for example, I can select this column, right-click, delete, and there it goes. I'm going to hit the undo button and cause it to go back. I might want to cut and paste. Okay, so I could, for example, just cut this and then paste this some other place. Notice I can also copy. Copying is not the same as cutting. So let me copy this and show you what I mean. When I go to paste, you notice there are different options. If I computed the values in this column with a formula, it not only puts the values in, but it also puts the formula in. Normally when I paste, I just want to paste the values. Okay, so normally I'm going to do this. All right. Now, some of the other things I might want to do, I might want to choose everything in, I might want to choose all of the data values in a certain column. Notice I might not want to choose the entire column. When I click the entire column, notice that not only does it choose the data values, it chooses the label, and it chooses all of these blank cells. And so, for example, I want to compute the mean of some data in a column. I don't want to choose everything in this column, just the data values. So the way I do that is I click on the first data value in the column I'm interested in, and then I simultaneously hold down Ctrl-Shift on the left-hand side, and while I'm holding them down, I push the down button on the right-hand side. And notice it automatically goes to the bottom of that data set. Okay? That's a very handy command. We're going to use that a lot, that Ctrl-Shift-Down. So again, if I want to choose everything in a column, I click on the first value, hold down Ctrl-Shift on the right, on the left, sorry, hit the down arrow on the right, and there we go. Okay. Sometimes we want to make a row into a column or a column into a row. So let me show you how to do that quickly. Let's suppose I want to put everything in this column into a row. So first I'm going to choose all of the data, Ctrl-Shift-Down. I'm going to copy it. And then I'm going to paste it below. And remember when we copy, we have all these different paste options. And there's a paste option that shows a rotation. It basically rotates the data. And this is called a transpose, whenever you make a column into a row or a row into a column. Okay. A few other things we might want to do. For example, I might want to add a column after the height of the kids. So if I want to add a column after height, I click on the column after it, and I And this thing is still copied, so let me get out of this for a second. There we go. Okay. So I want to add a column after height. I'm going to click on the column after it. I'm going to, there we go. Okay, sorry. Click on this column, and I'm going to hit insert. Okay, it inserts a column after height. And I'm going to insert another column here. Okay, so I can insert columns. Same thing with rows. Okay, I can select a row by clicking on the number for that row. I can delete a row. I can copy a row. I can paste a row. I can insert a row. If I want to insert a row above 5, I click on 5, insert, and there you go. Okay, one last thing I'd like to show you. This is a common operation that we have to do. Very often, when you work with real data sets, you're going to find that there's data missing. It's a very common sort of phenomena. When you're doing your project, most likely you're going to have a data file where data is missing. And usually it's just a blank. And generally, you want to delete those data values because they're of no use. You can't do anything with them. So let me show you how to do that. I'm going to add 2 rows, and I'm going to color them so you can see that I'm adding them. I'm going to add a row here, and I'm going to add a row there. And let's pretend some of these values were here. So this value was here, this value was here, this was here, but the height wasn't there. Okay, and same thing here. All the data was there except the height. So notice I want to get rid of these 2 rows because there's data missing. Now you might say, well, just go ahead and click on it and delete it. You're absolutely right, except when you're dealing with real data files, you look at this data file, for example, there's a whole lot of data values. And you don't want to search through and try to find every single one and do it by hand. So what we want Excel to do is find all of the data cells that have missing values and delete them. So the way we do that is we go to Find and Select, go to Special, and click Blanks. And then OK. And notice what it does. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click anywhere in this highlighted area. I'm going to say Delete. And what I want to happen is I want to delete these rows and shift everything up. So I'm just going to say Shift Cells Up. And notice what it does. Okay? It ends up taking out those rows that had blank values and shifting all of the rows up. Okay. That's pretty much all the basic things we need to do with data files. And next we're going to talk about various sorts of operations that we commonly do with the data.